annual Toy Fair returned to New York City this week after a three-year hiatus, of course, due to COVID-19. Hundreds of companies showcasing their latest toys, games, and entertainment progress in what is a tough economic climate. Jody Jacobs reports.
8 football fields filled with toys. More than 1,000 global toy companies from as far away as Europe and China are showcasing the hottest toys at this year's Toy Fair in New York. But despite all the fun and games, toy manufacturers are jumping through hoops as consumers demand more value for money.
We're seeing that toy makers are responding to tighter budgets and providing toys that are not only friendly on the pocket but also are feature rich, so giving you a lot of value for the money. More specifically though, we're seeing some trends, for example, kidult trend. So a recent study commissioned by the Toy Association found that 89% of parents are buying toys for kids and grown-ups in their family. So what does that mean? It means that toy makers are having opportunities to cater to both kids and adults.
And that is true as I pedal my way across the Toy Fair. Black representation in toys is also one of the most talked about topics on the Toy Fair floor. Dr. Lisa Williams believes children learn through play, and the more diverse the toy box is, the better they learn about diversity and inclusion.
The whole idea of toys is to aspire, right, and to envision what you can become. Well, you can't do that if you have no connection with the doll. Now, the doll can become an astronaut and the doll become a veterinarian, but you don't see that it's possible for you. But when that doll looks like you, it has your skin tone, your hair texture, your beautiful full lips.
According to the Toy Association, an estimated 3 billion toys are sold across the U.S. each year, generating approximately $40 billion in retail sales. To keep their piece of the pie, manufacturers need to constantly innovate.
It says slimy slime, but it's not actually slime.
Yeah, because I'm feeling when I'm playing with it, It doesn't feel like slimy, like, you know, like the slime that we are used to.
That's right. Yeah, it's more like a connected sand. It's oil-based, so that means if I have a shape, it never dries.
After a 3-year hiatus, the world-renowned Toy Fair has returned to the Javits Center, but will be short-lived. The Toy Association has decided to move North America's largest toy gathering to New Orleans in 2026. One's inner child definitely comes alive when you are faced with aisles and aisles of toys, and even more so when nostalgia hits, like with this gadget, the Tamagotchi. It makes a reappearance decades later as a trending toy for 2023. So believe me, parents will have no difficulty in finding something for their kids that's cost-effective, innovative, and educational come Christmas. Jody Jacobs, CGTN, New York.
And you know all those toys need somewhere to be sold. U.S. toy retailer Toys R Us recently announced that it is making a comeback to physical shops. If you remember, the store went bankrupt back in 2017, closed all its stores in the United States, UK, as well as Australia by 2021. But it did keep selling online, and now the iconic toy chain says it will open up to 24 standalone stores in the United States next year. Plus, it wants to roll out stores at airports as well as cruise ships. Okay, less than 100 days until Christmas for those of you keeping track. So let's keep talking about toys. We're joined by Madeleine Buckley, senior editor of the Toy Insight. Madeleine, before we go further, we must correct a horrible wrong. I need to be on your mailing list. I want to be known as the toy correspondent. So we'll have to make this happen in some way.
Absolutely, yeah.
In all seriousness, though, you know, to me, it's great to see kids with hands-on toys, whether they be educational, fun, or whatever, rather than sitting in front of a TV. What types of toys are trending right now?
It's a great question, and I was able to hear the piece that was just done about Toy Fair, and I just finished my 4 full days at Toy Fair, so I have had a lot of look at a lot of toys the past few days and all year round, which is a really cool job. But so we're seeing some really interesting trends this year. Just like you said, we are seeing a continued move toward toys that gets kids up and moving, and we're calling that trend moving and grooving, really getting kids dancing, staying active, getting up and about, but then also continuing screen-free with our trend called pet frenzy. We're seeing so many really interesting, innovative digital pets and furry friends that kids can bring home, but often with a screen-free or screen-optional twist. I know the previous piece is talking about getting value for your money, and one of our Hot 20 toys on our Hot Holiday list this year is called Dog E, and it is a fully robotic, interactive, amazing pet dog, and it costs, you would expect a pretty high price point, but it's down under $100. So you're really seeing these manufacturers give that wow, and again seeing the screen-free play go through into that trend as well.
And I guess the dog could come under the topic of robotics as well, and I presume that's a big topic right now.
Absolutely, yes, and continuing through learn through play. So at the Toy Insider, we also have what's called our STEM 10 list, and that's our 10 toys that really highlight learning through play. So again, yes, that is always something that parents are highlighting. And I think, I would be remiss to not bring up the toy that is on everyone's,
I know what's
radar
coming.
this
I know
year.
what's coming.
You know what's coming, it's Barbie.
Absolutely.
And so we have one of our big trends this year is called Hello Dolly, and we are just seeing that Barbie effect really ripple through into everyone's toy list. We have multiple dolls on our hot list. Of course, the Barbie Dream House itself is on our Hot 20 this year, because that's what everyone's talking about no matter what age you're shopping for this holiday season. Dolls, Barbie specifically, is really front and center. And then that leads into one more trend I'll highlight, which is what we call pint-sized pals, which continues to be a standing trend in the toy industry, which is kids' favorite characters coming home to them in really innovative ways. Sesame Street continues to be a top one with the new Elmo Slide interactive toy. Bluey is just dominating. If you're not familiar with Bluey, check it out, because parents love it just as much as kids.
Absolutely, and I'm one of these kind. We talked also about stores coming back, the Toys R Us, which I think is great. What are stores and brands doing? Because it's hard to overstate how important holiday time is to their year-end coffers. I mean, I've read as much as 45%. So clearly, moving forward in these next 3 months is going to be huge.
Absolutely. And we're seeing, so it's been such a weird and unpredictable time in retail for so many years now because of the ongoing effects of the pandemic. So this year we've seen a lot of retailers kind of holding back a little bit in the first part of 2023, not necessarily bringing in new toy lines with as much frequency as they traditionally would. That being said, as we're heading into the holiday season, that is coming back, really looking to see inventory and innovation so that parents can get excited. There's a lot of really hot toys coming to the market, new toy lines that have just launched, and those are going to be hitting retail to get people into those stores and excited about holiday shopping and seeing what's out there for the holiday season this year. And especially in specialty stores, we're talking our local toy stores, smaller retailers, craft retailers, that holiday shopping season is even longer for them. So they're already looking at holidays and holiday sales. So if you really want to start early, that's a great place to look.
And I'm a big fan of shopping locally as well. So how much do you think people are going to spend on toys this year? Not just the Christmas, on toys.
On toys specifically, it's a great question, and the specific research will be available, but it's just not quite there yet. That being said, from our conversations with manufacturers, retailers, and others in the industry, our educated guess is that people are going to spend about the same amount last year on toys or this year on toys as they did last year. And that average is going to be about $300 per child. Of course, that's going to vary based on location and family circumstance, but that's going to be your ballpark. And that being said, though, due to inflation, we're expecting MSRPs, which is the average, toy price, to be up about 20%. So people will be spending about the same, but you're going to be getting a little bit less in terms of quantity. So when parents are looking for when shopping and trying to stay within that budget, as was mentioned in that last segment about toys, there is really a lot you can do and make it go a little bit further. So look at things like the Toy Insider's 12 under 20 list, which is all toys that cost less than $20 but still have really great play value. And so yes, you're going to see some of those hotter toys maybe have a slightly higher price point this year, so maybe only one of those instead of two, but then you can populate the tree and the stockings with so many other traditional toys, lower MSRP items.
Okay, and again, we got to rectify this big problem, get me on your mailing list. And secondly, I lived in New Orleans for 6 years, and I think that big convention center, it's been great in New York, but I'm sure that NOLA will do a great job with this moving forward. Madeleine, thank you so much.
It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, it'll be really exciting to bring the toy industry to a new city.
Indeed. Madeleine, thanks so much for your assistance, and we look forward to talking some more.